Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. It was the deck that got the most placements in Day 2 of the Oceania Internationals. It was 12 of the top 36 placements. There was all sorts of builds roaming around, Jirachi based, really turbo based with Rayquaza GX and some hybrids going on as well. Today I'm bringing you my build. I think this list is pretty streamlined and straightforward. Adding in those Raikous, of course, to improve your Zapdos matchup, I think is one thing that is going to be necessary going forward, seeing as though Zapdos won the IC. So let's jump into the list. First of all, 2 Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GXs. It does have a fighting weakness and gives up 3 prize cards, so use him carefully. But when you do get to put him on your board, he can absolutely detonate some things. Full Blitz does 150 for 3 lightning, obviously buffed by Electropowers and Choice Band for huge numbers. And you get to search your deck for 3 lightning energy and put them straight onto one of your Pokemon. Could be himself if you think he's going to tank. Could be some backup attackers like Zeraora, for example, or a second Pikachu and Zekrom if you feel that's going to be necessary for you. Tag Bulk GX can be a big one-hit KO just for 3 lightning, doing 200. But if you do live the dream and get 6 energy on this guy, you can do 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Obviously a huge swing, knocking out Tapu Lele's, knocking out multiple attackers all at once, and just taking 3 or 4 prize cards sometimes is just absolutely massive. So the card is very, very strong, and part of this deck's win condition is going to be getting this up early, combine it with Let Loose, ask your opponent, do they have an answer in 1 or 2 turns? If they don't, they've lost. If they do, you've probably lost. But you're putting them on the clock is pretty much the idea that we're going to try and take here to win a lot of our games. So very good in GX-based matchups for certain. You'll be seeing a lot of him. I do think against Zoroark players, you still put this down, even though there is Lucario Lycanroc coming into effect. I've tried this build with Volkners and 1 weakness policy as well. Wasn't really coming off for me, so I just cut it and went back to more streamlined. If you want to go down a more weakness policy heavy focus, you can have a much better Zoroark. At the moment, I'm trying to focus on the Zapdos and have the sort of plan A, put Pikachu and Zekrom in, let loose these Zoroark players. That's kind of what I'm going for. But let me know if weakness policy has been working for you. On to the other attackers. 2 Zeraora-GX, Thunderclap Zone. It's going to be a huge ability for helping us retreat any of our Pokemon. We have lots of chunky stuff going on here. We get around Absol quite effectively with this guy, so we can move between our attackers. Obviously, we have Energy Switch in the deck as well, so whatever you start with, you can just attach to and get this Zeraora into play and just retreat around into whatever you like. Plasma Fist is also a nice one-hit KO potentially option. Thanks to Electropowers and Choice Band, this oftentimes gets there. Full Voltage can be randomly helpful against mill archetypes if that starts popping up, if Zora Control starts getting more relevant. But in general, it's not going to be something that we go for too often, but it is something to bear in mind. If we are really doing poorly, Full Voltage can be an option we go for. 1 copy of Tapu Koko-GX, obviously a big mirror match card because you can use Tapu Thunder GX to get a big one-hit KO if your opponent is committing lots of energy to their side of the field. Sky High Claws is also nice against non-GX builds again. It can take a one-shot pretty easily. And this Aero Trail just makes him so useful and easy to just get into play straight away. So the 1 copy is obviously justifiable. The Prism Star does carry a lot of weight in this deck for certain. Dancing the Ancients is going to be huge for getting Pikarom set up and backup attackers as well. Obviously a huge, huge card for this deck and pretty much every Lightning deck that wants to use this guy for huge energy acceleration. 2 Raikou, well, what did I tell you? You need to have this guy in the deck if you want to have a good Zapdos. Play 2 copies. Yeah, pretty simple. Zapdos has proven its worth. Now people will be playing Raikou and wising up to this. Having 120 hit points is really annoying for Zapdos players. They have to commit 2 Electropowers into him to take knockouts. We also have Oranguru in the deck as well. So the combination of Raikou and Oranguru means we can get around Escape Rope quite efficiently and just throw big, chunky non-GXs in their face, and maybe sometimes they whiff knockouts, which is really annoying for them. Booming Thunder, however, is oftentimes getting 1 prize knockouts just with 1 Electropower buff, even on like Zoruas. So against Zapdos and Zorua, it's just such a great card to have. It's so easy to reach, and that's really big in the format right now. So he's an optimal lead in like 2 of the 3 biggest matchups out there right now, which is just nuts. Also good at knocking out Inkays. So again, it's just an optimal lead in so many situations. Going second. You can get an extra energy acceleration as well. It's a no-brainer of a card to put in now that we've seen the meta develop towards Zapdos. It's just such a powerful card for this matchup, so we need 2 of them if we want to beat Zapdos. Essentially, our win condition now becomes use the non-GX package that we have, 2 Zapdos, 2 Raikou, Oranguru, and like late game, put down your Zeraoras and maybe Koko-GX for some swings. But in general, we're trying to just let these couple copies of each carry, because the Raikou is really awkward for them to get over, so getting over 2 of them is just going to be a pain for them. The 2 Zapdos obviously come in as well, providing great early pressure for this deck, taking, again, single prizes very easily with Thunderous Assault. We have the Thunderclap Zone to retreat out of it straight away again, to sort of reset it with Guzmas and such. So, again, just an efficient single energy attachment attack, which is just very reasonable and powerful. In other non-GX matchups, we want to be using our Zapdos as well, so that's going to be really nice. Then we have 2 copies of Let Loose Marshadow, trying to reduce our opponent's hand size, make them draw poorly. So when we put them on the clock with full blitz, we give them a low hand size to boot to make life difficult for them. 1 copy of Instructor Oranguru, so we don't ruin ourselves with Let Loose if we can help it, and also being this nice card to get around escape ropes from Zapdos players, which will often happen if you throw a Raikou in their face. 1 copy of Absol. Dark Ambition is very annoying for the likes of Malamar players and anything playing Jirachi, so Zapdos as well, and that's going to be really awesome. Even some mirror matches play Jirachi. And 1 Tapu Lele-GX for that wonder tag, going to keep us consistent, and it's just a very nice card to have in general. As you can see, my items have tried to be as streamlined as possible. I like the 1 treasure to give us extra discarding options, whilst also having more outs to Lele and Marshadow. 2 copies of Nest Ball to get, Zeraora, Koko, the correct Pokemon into play as quickly as possible. And then 4 of all the important things for E-Switch, for Electropower, for Acro Bike, and for Ultra Ball. These are all fairly self-explanatory. The Ultra and the Acro Bike has discard synergy with lightning energies, whilst also digging through the deck and getting our important cards out. Electropower, obviously, damage buffing is huge for Pikachu Zekrom taking 1-hit KOs, same for Zeraora, and it's just great for early game prize pressure with Raikou and Zapdos, so all-around great card. And the energy switch helps us retreat out of our guys thanks to Thunderclap Zone, as well as just, powering up Pikachu and Zekrom and other attackers out of nowhere. Speaking of getting attackers out of nowhere, the Thunder Mountain Prism Star Stadium is insane, and we play 1 copy of this just to reduce our energy count, so that we, again, can just chain our attackers efficiently. 3 copies of Cynthia, as well as 4 copies of Guzma and 4 copies of Lillie. I think it's just about enough. I think you can consider putting in more supporters if you really want to. I don't see many spaces, though. If you want to cut a treasure just for a 4th Cynthia, go ahead and go for it. It might mean that you're less likely to let loose early, but more likely to have an opening supporter card in general, which isn't too bad. I think the Lillie engine is kind of fine when we have so much ball search and insta-playables. I think it just works out a good amount of times. 2 copies of Choice Band. I think we only really need 2. The amount of non-GX things we've started to see pop up, but it's still such a big card for Zoroark and Mirror and such that you want to play a couple copies. And 12 Lightning Energy will round things out. Should be plenty to see in the opening hand to discard with Bulls, see them through Acro Bikes, and just have extra attachments turn by turn, even though you are using full blitz as well, so just plenty of energy overall. In terms of other cards we could be considering, I think the main thing that I've experimented with is Weakness Policy. Giving you some protection against Baby Buzzwoles in sort of Rainbow Zapdos builds, and giving you protection against Zoroark that play all these fighting cards is something that you could definitely be considering. I think so many people are just trying to get 1 attachment on your Pika-ROM, just 1 bomb you is a problem. But for me, it's more of a change in how you play. Go more towards the Zapdos, more towards the Zeraora, and only put down Pika-ROM in safe situations is going to be the way to go for this, rather than have the policy. If you do want to sneak in Weakness Policy, I would advise only playing 1 or 2 copies and having 1 or 2 copies of Volkner. Trim into your Cynthia account, maybe drop like the treasure or something like that and squeeze in those counts, maybe go to 11 energies. That's how you can try and work these in, and you can go for the policy if you really want to. For now, I just don't think it's as worth it as trying to keep streamlined, and whenever I've tried the policy, it's just not really come off too much. Acerola or Max Potion, again, are question mark cards that you could be considering. I actually prefer the Max Potion to Acerola itself. Again, similar to the Weakness Policy. If you want to squeeze in a Max Potion, you can add in 1 Max Potion to Volkner, maybe you find it that much more often and can have big heals in a few key turns against Zapdos players. Again, my main way to beat Zapdos now is going to be adding in the Raikus. I think it's just stronger overall, and it makes them more sense to me, so we're going down that route. In terms of other cards you could be considering, I saw some Erica's Hospitality going into a couple Pikarom builds. We're playing double Let Loose, so it has anti-synergy with Erica. You're hoping that people don't draw very well out of it, and then Erica doesn't draw you cards, and it's not great on turn 1. Another thing I've experimented with is a heavy EXP share based build. I've gone up to 3 EXP share. I was testing in Internats in Melbourne. I was testing, just in the lead up. I was trying a build with 3 Zapdos, 3 EXP share, and it was actually pretty cool. You had so many energies just sticking on your board. Field Blower is not very highly played. It's like a one-of in exactly Zoroark and nothing else right now. Even in Zoroark, it's being considered as a cut. So the EXP share is an item which I've backed in this deck before. I think to fit in the Raikus, you have to make space for them, unfortunately. But Raikou is like trying to be a pseudo EXP share anyway with his attack, so I can accept that there's no EXP share in this build anymore. But I really did like playing around with that card. I thought it's worth mentioning just for a conversation, really. And the other thing I would mention is the lack of stadium removal that we have. I don't play many answers to Shrine, and Shrine is big in some Zapdos builds. Again, it's about our approach. We're not putting down GXs if we can help it a lot of the time, but having extra answers to stadiums is a big deal, and Viridian would be my first one to turn to, giving you extra search for energy cards, extra search for discarding energy. Honestly, if you just want to cut to 11 Lightning and add in 1 Viridian, I wouldn't hate you for that at all. So let's jump into some games and see how Pikarom functions. I do think it's very strong, and I think you can try and take this in different directions. As I said, in Zapdos matchups, we're trying to be as non-GXy as possible, using your Raikus and Zapdos effectively, and just not give them easy prizes to just pick off, make them spend their Electropowers into your Absol, into your Raikus and such, even into your Zapdos. It can be annoying, and then once they've spent Electropowers, then your GXs are fairly free to be put onto the board. And against Zoroark players, I think the answer is still try and go for Let Loose early. And if the board is safe, go for a Pikarom. If not, just try and go Zapdos and Zeraora heavy. So we get to go first here. We have a reasonable hand. Raikou is usually a very good start. Looks like the sleeves are Psychic, so it might be a Malamar-based build. And it looks to be the case from what I'm seeing so far. And Malamar is not too bad of a matchup for us at all. We need to see which kind of build it is. But in general, we can give them some early pressure. We have an early Let Loose on them. We have an early Absol. All sorts of good things going on here. We will Nestball. I think the first thing I want to grab, because we are using Let Loose, is going to be Oranguru. We do have both Pikarom, we have our Koko, we have Zeraoras, we have both Zapdos. These are all things that we want to keep an eye on. We have our Electropowers. We've prized 2 energy, but that's not too big of a deal because we play so many. And that's pretty much okay. Okay, cool. So we're going to put this down, attached to Raikou turn 1, I think is fine. The Lillie drawing 4, what could it get us? I think it's fine because we already have the Instruct backup for Let Loose. I think I like it. Let's go for this. We get a couple Pikarom, another Nest Ball. No energy in our discard pile just yet, so I think I'm just going to grab Zeraora. Against Mallies, how badly do we want to put Pikarom down is our question. We're not threatening too much at the moment. I think we put the Zeraora down before the Zapdos, though, just because we have to retreat this Raikou anyway if we want to use our Zapdos. So I think I'm just doing this line here. Not putting down a Pikarom just yet, because we really... Like, he can go Giratina heavy against us a lot of the time. And looks like this is going to be a hard pass from us here. Not able to use our Monkey, which is a little awkward, and no Supporter. Or Electropower. All kind of awkward, but playable for next turn. We can see what we can do. We're like a ball search away from being very strong. Our top decks are strong. We have like Electropower as a sick turn 1. We have any Supporter, any Ultra Ball, All these things are strong. He's actually put a GX onto the board, which is encouraging for us, and just passed. He didn't even retreat into his Jirachi. We do pick up an Ultra Ball, which is pretty sick. We can discard a Lightning. I could actually lower my entire hand size here if I want to. We could... We have guaranteed Zapdos knockout. Yeah. Yeah. Seems good. I think I'm going to move the energy off Raikou here and put it onto Zeraora. Start getting that rolling. Allows us to draw an extra card from Instruct. Acro Bike and Lillie is nuts. Ooh, good cards, good cards. We'll keep the Guzma. We like it with Zapdos pressure for sure. And now we'll toss a Lightning. That's good for our Prism. Draw 4. Not bad, not bad. Choice Band is really nice on Zeraora for next turn. And the Let Loose has done work. Very good. Ultra Ball was one of our better draws, but we honestly did have a lot of draws to have a good outcome. Any Electropower, any Supporter, any Ball Search, all were very strong outs. So, although we did draw into an Ultra Ball, we had a lot of outs. That's the idea. So, they're going to Stellar Wish and find themselves a Lillie. Obviously, we've developed Absol TEU, which is pretty nice for us. They can Lillie for 6 here. We have the potential to knock out his Ultra Necrozma next turn if we don't get Let Loosed, which is pretty insane. Depending on how many Inkay he gets down, I don't mind it. Jirachi's taking a snooze. Must be thinking something through. Just a pass. So, a Zeraora knockout looks pretty appealing. I think I want to put another Lightning in our discard pile. Let's think this through. I mean, just killing more Inkays is also very strong. Yeah, more Inkays. Just limit his options completely. I don't think I'll attach to the Zeraora. I think I'm attaching to the Raikou here. Just in case he feels like dealing with our own Zeraora. But I think this is pretty good tempo. I don't think I want a Viridian, even though we're draw supporterless. I don't think we really want to. He actually promoted the Ultra, so he's unlikely to be gusting this for a knockout, which is again very strong for us. I guess if he was doing a Guzma play, it would be really weak from him because he wouldn't be developing more Inkays, which he has to prioritize here. So taking that prize kind of safeguarded us from being Guzma'd, in a way. They're going to stretch it back 1 Inkay, Viridian into another Psychic Energy, attach it to the active. Just goes for an Erika's for 6. Pog. Here come the Ink army, by the looks of things. But at this point, we're pretty far ahead. only 170 hit point Pokemon. One good upside about us playing an Acro Bike build rather than a Jirachi build is we don't have to be super scared of Sky Scorching. So we definitely want to do this. Obviously this. Do I never put down a Zapdos from here? Zapdos is still so good. I'm just thinking if I want to Ultra Ball for another Let Loose or something this turn. Nah, it's too risky against Sky Scorch. I do want to draw cards though, that's the problem. I think we might be sacking Guzma Energy just to grab Koko Prism, just to get energies on board. And then we can instruct for cards. If I'm doing this, I actually should have saved my energy switch to take it off the Oranguru. Then Raikou could have 2 energies on. Whoops. We could toss another energy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just to draw one more card. I don't like it. I don't like it. Energies are so vital for us to get through this game. Guzma can be held. Plasma Fist seems good. Getting to a big 5-card hand now. Electropower is not bad. It's our first one of those that we've seen all game. Opponent still does need a lot here to get a response knockout on Zeraora. They have 2 Ultras and 1 Stretcher in the discard now. They only have 1 Malamar. They're Ultra Balling to find probably another one. Ah, here's Marshadow. Okay. Marshadow's cool for them. They still need to have a switch card. But this definitely does make life easier for them for getting a knockout. And if I wasn't stupid, I'd have a second energy on this Raikou. And I would have instant response on this guy. Most likely. So that's a big yikes. We could still be thunderous assaulting this though. Depending if we need to or not. Honestly, at this point, we could just go for Raikou and Zapdos, like Guzma plays, to win the game. We have played so few Electropowers that trying to charge up a backup attack is not a bad shout though. That's going to Photon Geyser, go down to 3 prizes. How many E-Switch do we have left? 1. Okay. Another energy kind of sucks. I think we just want to knock out the Jirachi here. The Jirachi will always have 70. But it's better for him. Yeah, we'll deny this. Don't want him to have it. I'm just going to forest away 1 energy for an Instruct draw. That is not a bad Instruct draw at all for closing the game next turn. Oranguru, you champion. It's definitely pulled his weight in this game. It's been so strong. Alright, is he going to let loose us? Well, that's another Malamar. Also, he has his GX attack still available. He could be using a Dawn Wings this turn, which would be scary. Looks like he's just going for the Tina though. Also powers up the Marshadow a little bit more. Plays a switch, and as long as there's no Marshadow, we are there. Koko-GX is a good card. Easy game. Could have gone to 310. Not bad, not bad. Farming a Mally is always nice. Didn't see the Pikarom come down because it's a matchup where we're scared to put him down because he has one hit KO potential. But there was also potential for us to use him that game because he had a slower start. So, you know, it's playing each board as you see it, really. Oranguru definitely put in a huge shift for us there. One of the things that wasn't in my initial build that I love putting back in. He's my boy, after all. Oof. We have the Pikarom start. Sometimes you just gotta start him and say, let's go. No supporter. Turn 1 is definitely yikes. So we'll see how this goes. They're playing Regigigas Mill though. And in general, we have a very strong matchup against Mill archetypes, unless he's playing Vileplume. Vileplume is where we pick up our cards and shake his hand. So as long as he's not playing that, we should be fine. In general, we have so much energy acceleration, it's difficult for us to lose. But with a hand size this abysmal, anything's possible. Good old attach pass from us. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 1 Treasure, 1 Lele, 2 Let Loose, 7 supporters, 4 Acro Bikes that we could draw into. So, pretty awkward opening hand. He's going to continue to Stevens as he gets more Regigigas pieces rolling. Our double Let Loose should also be very good here. Ah. Ultra Ball. You little nectarine. How badly do I need Guzma this matchup? Probably not that badly. I think Lele Cynthia is better than Let Loose here. Just about. Let's go for the Cynthia. Alrighty. Wow, what a strange and bad hand that is. Let's attach and pass. That's so weird. Again, we're in top deck mode. If this was any other deck, we'd be worried. Fortunately, he's a mill deck. There's Crushing Hammer, number 1. Jeez, what a... This is the one thing I didn't want to happen. Let's pass. That's so bizarre. I mean, I feel like we're still going to have time to do whatever. This is his third Stevens, I think. We'll eventually let loose him and full blitz him, and it'll be fine. It's just I feel a little uneasy when he can start accumulating such a big hand to do stuff. Well, here's another Ultra Ball. Okay. Put this down. This can go here. E-switches are just dying, I guess. And we'll just let loose this. Having to spend a let loose early is kind of awkward. He has done triple Stevens though, so his hand is the highest of qualities. Let's Dash Energy. Acro Bike. We don't need a Raikou in this matchup. This can be an Oranguru. We actually need space for Zeraora so we don't get stuff stuck. So this can't be Oranguru, it has to be this. We don't want stuff getting stuck, that would be yikes. We genuinely might need the Electropower more than the Lillie here. It's too stupid. But these are key resources when his stuff is so chunky. Shouldn't underestimate how important they are. Here's a Thunder Mountain. We can start putting pressure on with full blitz. I like putting pressure on the turn that we've let loose. It makes sense to me. I will put them all onto himself. We're going to try and tag bolt and win in a couple turns, just thanks to the let loose carry. He has a max potion. He has literally only one more Stevens Resolve in his deck, so just a Cynthia from him. Even that's a big pickup, to be honest. Just a pass, okay. So tag bolt doing 200. It's doing enough to knock out one Regigigas, which isn't great. When we would like to be knocking out more. So is it even good? Is it even correct? Did we just Thunderous Assault? I mean, we can already knock this out. It's like getting damage on this one that matters. I think I would Thunderous Assault if I had a Guzma in hand. It's just full blitz. Gonna see an Acerola from him. Hooper, Choice Helmet, pass, okay. Let's swing with Zapdos. Oh, we actually have this anyway, but okay. This lets us retreat regardless, so. Max Pot. Plumeria, sure. We just got to retreat. I'm not going to go into the Pikarom just in case he can have random Lugia GX. So we're retreating to this and pass. Here's Mount Lanakila. Doesn't do much. I'm actually going to pop this. And swing. Haven't seen a Lusamine from him just yet. Okay, cool. So, Guzma's pretty nice. If we want to... A retreat is still pretty weak. I think retreat Guzma is bad though. We'll just retreat pass. Our very slow start has made life a little awkward. The let loose has been good though, to be fair. Alright, let's just full blitz. And wiggle. 9. Price 3 energy. It would be nice for us to start to get to those. They have another Cynthia. Potentially it's time for prize number 1 for us. What a dream. Let's take prize number 1. Essentially we're trying to get a turn where we could like double Electropower and get him with a Zapdos or something. Well, it would have been so beautiful had he not Plumeria'd us last turn. How bad is Guzma full blitz? It's pretty bad. It's not bad if I just Electropower as well. Yeah, it's fine. It's giving us access to potentially more lightning energies, so... Still whiffing on lightning. He just passes. So we will just retreat and pass. Actually, there's a risk to retreat and pass because he could remove energy from the active and then we can't Guzma. So we actually just have to pass. We gotta look for E-switches. What? Why? Why would you play this down? I guess he's worried about just dying, which is fair. Now we're guaranteed an energy. There we go. Eventually got there. The very slow grind. Eventually. Very eventually, but as long as there's no Vileplume, we should be beating most mill. We always had our full voltage GX to try and reload as well. If he was more Plumeria focused. If he got back into a Lusamine loop, we had another let loose. So feels pretty reasonable when you play double let loose and all the energy acceleration in the world. 3 lightning energy prize is a bit of a yikes. Let's get one more game in. Able to beat a Mally and a Mill. Did not think Mill was going to be around. I guess it capitalizes on the influx of Zoro and Zapdos, but they're still Pikaroms, like me. Hello. I'll still take the wins. It's another Pikarom start. We're all in. Let's go. And if we're going all in, we're putting down this early as well. We have turn 1 Lele or Let Loose, depending on how their start looks. Poipole, they're playing, yeah, they're playing Clowns. Okay. Against Clowns, I feel like double Pikarom is no bad thing. They play Alolan Grimer. Wow. Interesting. Blacephalon with Ditto Grimer Muck. So they're trying to capitalize on Zapdos as well. Trying to have the answers. Who could blame him? Pretty sick start from him. Got 2 treasure in the discard. All those Poipole. Looking good. We're going to Acro Bike before the treasure, just in case we get a supporter. Nest Ball seems like the pick. It does get us an early Zeraora down if we want to. Or it could be an early Monkey to protect us from a potential Let Loose if I go for it. I could just go early Zeraora. Gives the potential to Zapdos early. So many options. So many options. What's our best move? I think we do want to go full blitz in this matchup. I think we're just going to Lele. Full blitz seems good in this matchup, for sure. Let's get one of those big hand sizes. No energy is absolutely remarkable. I'm stunned. Is the only thing I can say. Whoa, that is crazy. Oh, early pressure looks so bad now. Oh. See, the thing about Pikarom is you set your stall out so early that if it just doesn't go well, it's not going to go good. Let's pass. That is so sad. Wow. 6 draws, no lightning, no ball search to even Let Loose for a second chance. That is very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. When they've had the nutso start. This 3 energy already gone. Ugh. Hitting us with a Naga turn 2. Or going for an early bursting burn or something. I don't know what he wants to do, but they're attached to the bench, so probably using a burst this turn. I don't know. But man, missing energy is such a fundamental problem for this deck. So sad. Genuinely very, very upset by that. We can get early muck down as well. So we can't use this. Oh, he's grabbing Let Loose. Why? I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. Why would they Let Loose? If they get a muck now, I'm just going to be angry. We probably should have popped this last turn, in all honesty. We're getting away with murder here. You have a good deck. Okay. This is fine. That was nuts. Nuts turn 2. And 1. To be fair, I like the fact that he's adding the Grimer Muck to his build. I think props to this list. But still, holy, did we whiff and did he high roll. Holy. This is where a Pikarom should go to game 2 and just say, hey, I can high roll too, you know? Well, we got as much as we can get here. We can't let loose him. But if we hit a Band or a Electropower, we're feeling okay. Especially now that we can full blitz to something else in the back. Had to have a quick self-evaluation whether, do we ever win if I don't put it all on my active here? Do we ever win if I don't put it on my active? I think the answer is no, to be honest. I think I'm just going for it. I think if I put it onto anything else, we're just going to lose anyway. Everything else is so fragile. Which means I probably shouldn't have Ultra Balled. Yeah. Things could have been very different this turn. Regardless, he's got Beast Rings. Let's see if he can just use them and win. Attach, charge up. Charge up. Sure, sure. Oh, why did we not keep Guzma? Ah, this misplay was so sad. Zeraora doesn't give us the free retreat to actually do this anyway. Damn it, Muck. You big crumb. Do I just full blitz a Muck is my next question. I could Zapdos TEU instead. That's probably our best move. And then basically put him on the 1 turn clock, saying, "Hey, I can tag bolt next turn." Let's see if he has Guzma. Plus energy. Shouldn't be too difficult. Don't think they've played many. They've played none. They're still using actions though, so I don't think they have it. just a retreat from them. We're both just waiting for Guzma. Okay. Well, sometimes lucky. So hideously undeserved. But at the same time, we super low rolled early. And he super high rolled early. So sorry. Sorry for that. I think the matchup is generally favored. Their muck definitely does help. I mean, if we were the Jirachi build, we would just have to concede there for sure. I think they ran into some bad mid-game draws for sure. No B-string, no Guzma, stuff like that was yikes. We got away with it, but overall, that's the list. Hope you did enjoy these videos, or sorry, these games. Let me know what you think about the list. Updated. We didn't see much of Raikou, but there was no Zapdos on the ladder, so he's definitely the star player in that matchup. I think we got super lucky in that last game. But yeah, that's it for today. Pikarom is busted, and I'll see you in another video soon. Cheers.